My name is Iannielli, and I am male to female transgender. And I'm going to talk about something different for a change, kind of change topics. You know, it's funny. I got this iPhone, and I was reluctant to buy it initially a couple of years ago when it was becoming more uh, seen in my social circles before I lost my job when I came out as a male to female transgender girl. But I started to have friends who were buying these iPhones, and they're talking about downloading these apps and using their phone for all these different applications. And I was like, I couldn't understand what they were talking about. I was like, kind of like in the dinosaur stage of my use of cell phones. Um, and I had a background in mechanical engineering, but the Apple iPhone and any Apple related products I never really had the experience of using. Uh, and I'm just finding it funny now because I'm like very into my Apple iPhone, and now I feel like I can't live without it. But the unique thing is, I never thought that I could like pick up on all of this, and I felt like I was inept. But it turns out that I'm very capable of using the iPhone and utilizing it for many purposes that I never knew I could to begin with. And you know, I've downloaded some apps that I don't know if I'll ever use them, but I have like a Pizza Hut app where I can actually order a pizza, and a White Castle's app where I can order some sliders if I want, if I get the crave. But I have other practical apps, and I'm not saying that the food apps are not practical. That they're pretty cool. But I also have apps where I can actually make movies. Uh, it's more expensive to do it on my phone because of the data storage issues. So I still have to navigate my way around those issues. But in general, uh, it's a lot of fun. I never had this kind of fun with a phone before. I had basic standard phone where you used it to make phone call, retrieved your messages, and send texts. That was it. Messages, whatever. But here, it's like a whole world has opened up for me that I never knew about. And when I remember back to when I had talked to others that bought the Apple iPhone, and I used to see them playing with it, and I was wondering what's the big deal, you know? And now it's like I've gone full circle because now I'm like playing with the phone, and it sure is a big deal. It's awesome. It's my new toy. But you know, it's just something that is quite unique and interesting. And I applaud Steve Jobs for his ideas, inventions. Here's a man who, sadly, he's passed, but he didn't have a formal education. He learned on his own, basically. But he had a drive and an ambition to create something that was beautiful and powerful. And he utilized his knowledge of technology and merged it with entertainment. And he created a whole new world for people that live by their phones and other communication devices. Just like Bill Gates created the laptops, the the computers and Microsoft. Bill Gates created the Apple computer, and then it progressed through the years through different multiple stages of development, and then he branched into other areas and eventually started to realize that there was a market for electronic devices that weren't just simple Walkmans. You remember that? You played music on a Walkman? Now you can play your music on your iPhone. And they have Android phones that I guess are similar to the Apple. I guess they're like copies of the Apple. I'm not really sure what Android actually means, but that's what I believe it means, that it's like a phone similar to the Apple, because I believe that Apple set the standard for these phones and electronic devices. So I think it's pretty cool. And I enjoy using my phone to make videos and to take pictures. Certainly, it's more accessible. Uh, I have another camera that I always took pictures with. The problem was that I used to always have the camera in my face. So now it's kind of enjoyable that I can take actual pictures without having to deal with the camera in my face. And when I say the camera in my face, I'm talking about the picture actually reflecting the camera from the reflection of the mirror while I'm taking the picture. I still always have the camera in my face because you have to have a camera in your face to take a picture. But you know what I mean. And I have downloaded some baseball game apps, some racing car game apps, some fashion modeling apps. I Scout, which is a navigator system, GPS, uh, Movie Maker, uh, Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, About Me. These are all social media pages. Twitter. So everything that I've had in my daily life has been imported into my phone. I can even do a tax return on my phone. It's like unimaginable. I downloaded the app for Tax Act, and I do my tax returns on Tax Act. Now I can go right to my phone if I needed to, but it's not practical, but it's certainly obviously available. I can take pictures. I can fax and scan. I can print from my iPhone. It's like extraordinary. I mean, I never thought that that could be possible. Uh, I could watch a Netflix movie. I could watch a YouTube video. I could watch my contacts and messages on my Facebook page. I can create posts to my Facebook page. And it's very, very enjoyable now. I mean, now that I have it, it's like I don't know how I lived so long without it. And, you know, I would love to give that experience to my son too. But it's such an expensive product that I don't think he's ready or mature enough to handle that responsibility. iPhones are not cheap. They're expensive. I bought mine for roughly 500 or so dollars, and it's state of the art technology, but it's high price tag. But I think it's worth it because of all the things I can do with it. It's very diversified. and I enjoy every moment using this phone. Actually, I'm recording this video with the phone, and I do many of my videos through the phone. So I think it's interesting. Uh, I think that people get caught up in this wave of technology, and it's like, you just like get swept up into it. And once you're swept into it, forget it. It just becomes a part of you and your existence. And you see it every day. You see people texting. They're with their phones everywhere. I don't know anybody who doesn't carry a phone these days. And even at dinner tables, you have the family divided between their texting and all. It's kind of like there's good aspects to the use of these electronic devices, and then there's the downside. It kind of is taking us away from that personal sharing and communicating personally, face to face. We're too busy caught up in using the electronic uh, device that we lose total sight of the communication with the person in face-to-face relationship. They even have an app called FaceTime where you can actually, it's like similar to Skype, I guess. And basically you both have to have an Apple iPhone, and you set your icon at your app, and if you both have one, you can see each other with the FaceTime app. You know, excuse me, but it's extraordinary, and I think it's quite interesting. Myself having a background in mechanical engineering, I really find that it's quite interesting to learn such skills, and obviously to be involved in a development and planning stage is truly a dream come true for many engineers, because their whole dream in life is to make a difference. And if you can do that with a small company and grow it to the level that it's at now, and work towards even growing it bigger, it makes for interesting history. Certainly Apple started out of a garage, and now look at where it's at. And did you know that Apple was also responsible for Pixar? Steve Jobs, he was involved in Pixar. Very extraordinary. He had such wonderful ideas and visions. And my son is a big fan of Pixar Studios. So am I. We just love the cartoons. So you can even watch a Pixar movie on your iPhone. Isn't that funny? And I think that the pace of technology is so so quick that it's hard to stay up to date with everything. And for people that are involved in the computer field, it could be a daunting process to learn. And I don't know, but there are courses that are offered too on how to use your iPhone, and integrate it with your service provider so you can get the maximum use of the phone. I find also that they have language translating programs where all you have to do is view the text from a computer screen and have it captured in your iPhone, and it will translate to whatever language you want to translate from to, which is quite extraordinary. And I find that it makes for interesting conversation. Certainly, I would love to take advantage of these uh, advancements in the iPhone technology. I always wanted to have ideas myself, and I dreamed about what it would be like if I invented something, and it seems that we're caught up in trying to make a living that we lose the focus of what life's truly about. And it's kind of a shame, but it's reality. That's what life is about. That's why there are so many people that are tied to their jobs. Without their jobs, they can't make a living. So they don't have that freedom to take risks and express their ideas. They're not risk takers. They play by the book. They are conservative. And I'm not faulting them because I was in that same situation. However, now that I'm not working because of my being let go from coming out as male to female transgender, I have to start to think about possibly in reinventing myself and finding a way that I can make a living. I'm on disability, but from what I understand, the long term that I get paid will not last into perpetuity. That has a finite time frame. But the Social Security disability, on the other hand, is into perpetuity. So I have to kind of gauge myself and where I want to go, what I want to do. But the one thing I do know is that if I do go back into the workforce, I'm going as a woman. I will never go back to work as a man. It is just not the right choice for me. Plus, I identify as a woman, and I always have. So that is the most logical choice for me. And, I just need to be that. And I think having an iPhone will certainly help me in being savvy with business relationships, personal relationships. And the truth of the matter is, I'd rather be self independent, work for me, but obviously I still rely on the goodwill of others for building a practice, for developing a client base, and it doesn't happen overnight. And my doctors tell me I'm nowhere near that point, so I just have to take one day at a time. Just like I have to take one day at a time with my transition. My doctors also tell me I'm nowhere near the point where I should be approved for surgery through a psychiatric evaluation over time. Hopefully, it will eventually lead to the approval because I always knew in my heart I was female. But now that the time is past, I have to come to a point where I have to prioritize and determine what has to be paid and what I can push off for a little point in time. And things aren't always easy, but at least I know I have an iPhone that can help organize me and make my life a little more manageable. So I thank you, Steve Jobs. I know you're in a peaceful place, and I think that the world owes a big favor to you. So thank you for that. Bye.